This podcast is a Radio Mike original production. Head to radiomike.com.au to find out more. This episode of Harry Potter and the Boys is brought to you by Radio Mike on Patreon and the 20th Century Boy podcast. Head to patreon.com/Radio Mike and for as little as $1 a month, get a bonus podcast every week. And search 20th Century Boy on your favorite podcast app to hear more from me every week. 50 years after the final Harry Potter book, Harry Potter is now headmaster of Hogwarts, ready to usher in a brand new generation of witches and wizards. My name's Radio Mike, and I love Harry Potter. In fact, I love Harry Potter so much that when I was a kid, I wrote a series of 7 Harry Potter fan fiction novels. This is book 2 in that series. Welcome to Harry Potter and the Team Wizard Tournament. Hello, Hamores everyone. Welcome to Harry Potter and the Boys, a fan fiction podcast by me, Radio Mike. This is book 2 of the Radio Mike Harry Potter fan fiction saga, Harry Potter and the Team Wizard Tournament. And I am joined by producer Pat, who is a producer here at Radio Mike Productions, predominantly works on 20th Century Boy, my other podcast. Pat, welcome back to the show. How are you?
Not too bad. Thank you for having me again. And it's also very funny that you specifically mention that I am specifically a producer on 20th Century Boy, because honestly, because as someone who works for you, you'd expect I'm know everything about your content, right? But Mike, I need to make a confession.
Yeah.
I don't listen to Harry Potter and the Boys, at all.
Well, you don't say that. Now all the listeners are going to think it's lame. And now you're instantly offside with the listeners, I can tell. They all hate you already. This is disappointing for you, Pat.
Nah, hey, well, let me put this out there. It's my personal choice to not listen to it. That doesn't mean you shouldn't listen to it and that you shouldn't consume all of Mike's content. I think you should consume all of Mike's content, because consuming all of Mike's content means that he possibly earns another revenue stream, which means another revenue stream for me. So I see it as a win-win overall, because I'm exclusively in this for money, nothing else.
Good to see you're focusing predominantly on the important things. Yeah, just the money.
Oh, obviously, not anything important. I'm not regarding the important stuff like creativity.
Speaking of money, interestingly, so Pat and I thought it'd be good to get Pat back on. You were in season 1, I believe, and the episode you were in, there was a bunch of audio glitches that occurred. So it is probably the worst episode of the podcast to listen to. I mean,
it was pretty listenable, though. You salvaged it pretty well, to your credit.
But the reason I want to get Pat on, Pat, as I said, predominantly works on my main podcast, 20th Century Boy, which is where Harry Potter and the Boys originated many, many years ago. But we also do a Patreon bonus podcast over on patreon.com/Radio Mike, which you can get on board for for as little as $1 a month, or more if you're generous. That's $12 a year, or 3 coffees a year. 2 for me, 1 for Pat. And we do the Pat and Mike show there. If you want to learn a little bit more about Pat and myself, we have a bunch of fun there, but also talk behind the scenes of working together. So thought it'd be good to get Pat on just so we can plug the Patreon. The Patreon is kind of what keeps these shows going, what keeps Pat employed, and basically if you guys jump on, it really helps us, especially because the Patreon kind of only just we don't even break even on all the shows I make. We are running at a loss, but we don't want to stop making any of the shows. So if you like Harry Potter and the Boys, $1 a month or $12 a year goes a really long way to helping us keep the lights on here and help Pat keep his lights on. So that's why I thought it'd be great to get Pat on. Also, he's a really funny guy and he's great at everything he does. So I want to keep him around.
Oh, stop it.
But Pat, do you remember much about the chapter you appeared on last year at all?
Well, the one thing I remember is, "Aren't you happy, Sam?"
Yeah.
That was pretty
So that was a classic Hagrid line that appeared, well, not a classic Hagrid line, a new Hagrid line, in which Hagrid simply asks one of the boys, it was spelt A-R-E-N, you happy Sam. So it was, "Aren't you happy, Sam?" And you did a great Hagrid read.
"Aren't you happy, Sam?" I'm looking forward to more impressions today.
I actually don't remember anything else about the chapter you were on at all, except for that. I think it was a more filler chapter.
Yeah, sounds like it, which is pretty fitting for having me on. But yeah, I'm looking forward to today's chapter.
Wait, so you don't remember anything else from the chapter?
I remember, like, ideas of it. Like, I remember the idea of, like, I don't know. I feel like there was a mention of poo somewhere, which is very appropriate. But yeah, beyond that, I can't really say if I remember. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I remember much. No.
Okay, well, I should give you a lowdown because you don't even know what has happened in the book, and we're now obviously on book 2. So I'll give you a quick lowdown.
Yes, fill me in, please.
Feel free to ask any questions on the way, but basically, at the end of book 1, Mr. Charger, the evil potions master, it turns out he is harboring Voldemort on the back of his bum. Similar to how Professor Quirrell had Voldemort on the back of his head. What do you think of that so far?
That's very creative and very in tune with 13-year-old Mike. Like, honestly, like, I gotta respect, like, it has that distinct, like, adolescent creativity, like, in that sense of, like, obviously you've mentioned Captain Underpants being a big inspiration. As someone who also grew up loving the Captain Underpants and Dave Pilkey's books, like, I definitely feel that sense of, like, childhood freedom, just doing whatever. And then obviously, like, other little influences like The Simpsons and, like, other just general, like, tongue-in-cheek humor, which I think really, it gives it a very unique flavor. And it's a very unique case study of, like, of that demographic in that time, but just great overall. I love it.
Cool. Oh, glad to hear it. And so Mr. Charger kills Ron Weasley, so we lose our first legacy character. You know, this is almost as bad as when Kylo Ren killed Han Solo, spoiler alert, you know, because, you know...
Oh my god, a 6-year-old movie. How dare you spoil that, Mike?
Your legacy characters are a big deal these days. You don't want to lose them too early, but yeah, we lost Ron. Certainly not the most important character, but yeah, he is, as far as we can tell, he is dead. Ron Weasley is dead, which is pretty crazy. And then so far in book 2, the boys have understandably not wanted to go back to Hogwarts because why would they? Everyone dies and tries to kill them. And they have finally gotten back to Hogwarts. In the last chapter that we read, obviously, you know, the boys don't want... that Mr. Charger can't come back to teach because he's now a criminal who's murdered another teacher. So he's on the run. So Harry Potter announces the new potions master for the boys' second year at Hogwarts. And it is, in fact, Mr. Charger. He's back. With no explanation as to why no one remembers the murder he committed.
That's gold.
But not only is Mr. Charger back, he's also brought about the mysterious Jim Wilkins Choir, a choir that seemingly consists of 50 men, all called Jim Wilkins. And as far as we know, they are sinister, but we haven't really seen that side of them yet. So that's kind of where the book is at. Oh, we've also met a new character. His name is Dimmy Dimatina. I remember writing him as, like, because I was starting to watch South Park, and he's a very, like, Eric Cartman kind of... Like, can you do an Eric Cartman kind of voice?
Yes. Screw you guys, and you're him. Like, that's the best I can do.
Everyone does it really, like, gruffy. It's more like the modern Cartman, which is a bit more like, hey, how are you? Like that kind of...
Yeah, it's more like that.
It's supposed to be more like that, because when Charlie Clausen came on, he read it as the really gruffy old school Cartman, and it's like, hey, how are you guys? But it's more like, hey. It's less throaty, more nasally, I think. So just...
Yeah, it's almost like people get mixed up with, like, Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah. So I know you like to do impressions. So if you know, just trying to get in the mind of characters. So Dimmy, very Cartman-esque. Derek Derrickson, very Ralph Wiggum-esque. And look,
cool.
I think
I may need reminders, but I'll try and remember.
Now, the listeners have seen the title of this podcast, so they know the title of the chapter. But to be honest, I'm going to just say it to you right here, Pat. When I read the title of this chapter, I genuinely thought, wow, this is the most creative play on words I have ever... This is the perfect Venn diagram of Harry Potter satire and juvenile humor. So, Pat, if you will, do you have the document I've sent you in front of you?
I do. I'm just about to open it now. Let's see what this creative...
Okay, open it and read to everyone the title of Chapter 9 of Harry Potter and the Team Wizard Tournament. I should say, 9 chapters in, still no mention of the Team Wizard Tournament.
Man, you really are holding listeners strong here. All right, Chapter 9.
Wait. Without reading the chapter, explain to the listeners, like, do you think this is really creative and intelligent? Because I actually do.
This feels like a username on a message board that you'd see in like the late 90s, early 2000s. Or like some pun, or like something that Kevin Smith would write. You know what I mean?
But you know what this is referencing, right?
Oh, I very know what this is referencing.
Okay, all right. Well, okay, let's begin the read through of Chapter 9 of Harry Potter and the Team Wizard Tournament. Part. What's the title of the chapter?
Chapter 9, Nearly Dickless Ned.
You have to applaud 13-year-old Mike for that, because it's like, you know, obviously here we have Nearly Headless Nick, character from Harry Potter. John Cleese played him. And then now what I've done is I've gone, what's a funnier version of Nearly Headless Nick, which is already a ludicrous concept.
Oh, very much so.
And then I've come up with what I assume is Nearly Dickless Ned.
Oh man,
which
I can't
is also
wait to
clever.
read this.
It's also clever because it kind of swaps like sounds as well, because Nearly Headless Nick, Nearly Dickless Ned. Ned, head, Dick, Nick. Very clever. All right, shall we begin?
All right, let's get started.
Let's do
The
it.
Jim Wilkins Choir were a curious bunch of characters, each of them dressed in their white tuxedos. Around about 50 men, all identical.
So hang on. Let's pause there. It's your first day of school. You're in grade 2, and 50 strange, well-dressed men are just at the school now with no explanation. How do you feel?
Well, grade 2 me. What would grade 2 me think? I don't know. I'd be a bit overwhelmed for sure. It would be a very peculiar thing. I can't say that I can think of any recent occurrences where 50 people have attended a school with the same name.
And they are identical as well, which does suggest some kind of weird magic going on.
Yes,
there.
perhaps.
Because are they a set of 50 twins, or are they like one person who's cloned himself? Like, it's very cultish, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely get some cult vibes there. But yeah, it's a peculiar start, and I'm looking forward to seeing where this devil's into. Mr. Charger smiled and shook hands with each of them, and Harry Potter clapped his hands and smiled as they continued to sing various songs. Ring, ring, ring with the ring, ring, ring with the trolley. Clang, clang, clang with the bell. Everybody's having a great time tonight, especially... I don't know how that bit of the song goes. I only know up to with the bell because of The Simpsons. Especially you, Mademoiselle.
Which is French for ma'am. So they also sung this exact same song with different words at the end in the previous chapter. So it seems like for a choir, they only seem to have one song that they just crank out over and over again. So that's interesting.
A very interesting tidbit there indeed. They sung as they looked... Sorry, no, not they looked. They sung as they look at Hermione. Thank you, said Hermione. Hornily? What? Sorry. Should I retake that in a more horny manner?
Yeah, retake it, because it does say they sung as they look at Hermione, which is an odd shift to present tense from the traditional past tense writing of Harry Potter. Just a momentary swap to present tense. Go on.
I'm gonna have to give this my all, so I need to prep for this. Thank you, said Hermione hornily.
So Hermione is so turned on by the Jim Wilkins Choir singing that she responds hornily to their singing, to their serenading.
Well, I mean, to be fair, if Ron's out of the picture, I mean, like, you can't blame her, you know what I mean? She must have been lonely for a while.
A woman has needs. Yeah. A woman has needs. She needs to, yeah.
Fair enough. Now, said Harry Potter, let the feast begin. The greatest food of all time appeared on all of the tables.
the greatest food of all time.
See, you couldn't be bothered thinking of like a genuine like delectant meal.
Food.
You just thought, greatest food of all time.
Yeah. So for me, it's just a lot of Tim Tams.
Yeah, maybe. Oh my God, Mike, missed opportunity. You could have said greatest food of all time. It was unique. It was magic. But the students saw what they believed was to be the greatest meal of all time. So, for example, if we were students at Hogwarts,
really clever.
Yeah, I mean, look, maybe for you, you'd see a row of Tim Tams. Maybe for me, I'd see a row of pizza. Like
sushi, bit of sashimi for me.
Yeah, perhaps even the old Delta cream. But yes, greatest food of all time appeared on all of the tables, and everybody looked very happy and cheerful, including the boys, who were very hungry, but also cautious about the appearance of Mr. Charger and the Jim Wilkins Choir.
Interesting.
Now, does Michael have a unique voice, or is that just meant to be you?
Sounds like me, so do your best me impression.
All right.
This could be damning.
I'm going to have to be very careful with this. All right, channel my inner mic. If the Jim Wilkins Choir is friends with Mr. Charger, there's no way they are good news, said Michael. I don't think that was anywhere near close.
I do not sound anything like
I don't think that was anywhere near close. I think I was just trying to I think I was trying to copy specific micro mannerisms, but I don't think I even hit that. So I'm going to just not continue to do an impression of you. Derek, does Derek sound like anyone?
Derek is kind of like a Ralph Wiggum sort of vibe, if you want to do a Ralph Wiggum or attempt a Ralph Wiggum.
I sang with the Jim Wilkins Choir last year. I feel like the listeners will not be able to stand that. Maybe I'll do it a bit more bearable.
Just do it. Just do a low key. He doesn't talk like that.
I sang with the Jim Wilkins Choir last year. There's definitely nothing evil about them, and they aren't an evil cult or trying to kill everyone at school. Derek had appeared alongside Dimmy.
Okay, and we got to pause there. So Derek, there's a lot of mystery around Derek, a lot of mystery around him. We hope it'll be uncovered at some point. We assume it won't, based on the precedent of the book not really explaining anything. But there was a chapter last year in which Derek was auditioning for the Jim Wilkins Choir and sung with them. And he was saying, they're definitely not an evil cult trying to kill everyone at the school, which does sound a lot like they are an evil cult.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh man.
I just read the next line, but read it.
Are you sure, Derek? Because that suspiciously sounds like they are an evil cult trying to kill everyone at the school, said Luke.
Which is exactly what I just said. I always accidentally predict exactly what the book is going to say straight before they say it. But yeah.
Yeah, your 13-year-old mind is 10 steps ahead of you. I'm not sure, said Derek.
Okay, cool, Derek.
My dad was actually in a choir at one point. He won Australian Idol in 1927, said Dimmy.
Which is an outrageous claim to make.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely see the time period at which this was made. Although I don't imagine 13-year-old Mike, he had on his brain, maybe I should fact check when Australian Idol played. Although I'm sure that was added more for comedy than for historical purposes.
But the thing is, we all know that Guy Sebastian was the first person to win Australian Idol. And that was definitely in 2001 or 2003 or something, right? According to Dimmy, his dad won Australian Idol in 1927, almost 80 years before the show even existed.
Man, it's see, it turns out Australian Idol, oh my God, maybe there's a conspiracy with this. Maybe Australian Idol, maybe Australia created the whole Idol, the Pop Idol series, but then some ancestor of the dude who created it, what's his name, Simon Fuller? Maybe what's an old person name?
No, it's Simon Cowell.
No, Simon Fuller. Isn't that, and he's the guy who also discovered the Spice Girls. I'm going to look that up. We're going to fact check here because we're all about fact.
It's Simon Cowell, Pat. It's Simon Cowell. It's not Simon Fuller.
No,
Simon Fuller's an entrepreneur.
No, hang on. I thought that too.
Oh, actually, no, you're right.
I told you.
It's Simon Fuller.
I thought that too. No, I genuinely thought that too for the longest time. That it was Simon Cowell.
Then who is Simon? Simon Cowell is involved in that franchise.
Yeah, he's just a personality. He's
Wow, that's shocked me to my core.
Wow. Radio Mike discovers that Simon Cowell did not create American Idol. Look, the only reason I know that fact is because I fucking love the Spice Girls and I watched a documentary when I was really into them. And that's how I know that, so...
Thank you for telling me that.
No worries. Thank you, Spice Girls, for making me obsessed with you so I can find out the tidbits. Does Rob sound like anyone?
Nah, just another boy.
Great. Maybe instead of me asking, you can just like let me know. Oh, that person sounds like them.
Yeah, and then we can take the line again. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I'm happy to do a second line. Man, the listeners must be so happy that I'm just stalling and not delivering the line. They didn't have Australian Idol then. I don't think they even had TV then, Timmy, said Rob. Oh my God. I'm reading the next line. They actually did had TV. And also...
This is Dimmy. This is Dimmy.
Right.
They actually did have TV, but the government had to cover it up because some really bad shit happened. So all of my dad's CDs...
So, just so you know, Dimmy, the character, regularly just makes shit up about his dad. And it kind of actually feels like Dimmy might have been created so I could bring in pop culture references from the early 2000s, like Australian Idol.
Oh my God, Dimmy's a fucking sociopath. Oh my God.
Okay, so they actually did had TV, but the government had to cover it up because some really bad shit happened. So all my dad's CDs got deleted.
And then no one can listen to his music.
Dimmy replied.
My dad doesn't care though. He's really rich. He actually just bought 18 cars and he's about to pitch a movie to DreamWorks.
Man, you can't get more 2000s than that. Who's having an uprise in the film industry this decade?
Yeah.
DreamWorks.
They just put out Shrek, possibly Shrek 2, maybe even Shrek 3. It is all on the up for DreamWorks.
Oh man, and because like if you're going to Hogwarts, like the first thing you have on your mind is like, man, DreamWorks. Oh, and also, so is this set 50 years after Harry Potter?
Yeah, so actually at this point in the time of the book, Shrek 8 is probably out, and there's like 100 other DreamWorks movies that have come
at
out.
this point, like Shrek has to be like 40-something years old. Like, it's as old... When this is set, it's about as old as like Star Wars is today.
Yeah, Shrek Wars.
Yeah, maybe by then Disney bought out DreamWorks and they make fucking Shrek Wars. Who knows?
Wow. I wonder what movie Dimmy's dad is pitching.
Maybe it's Shrek Wars.
Hey guys, I've got this great idea for a movie. It's called Shrek Wars.
We love it. Here's all our money. Make it.
What?
And then it went on to gross $1 at the box office.
What are you doing on my Death Star?
Oh my God. Wait,
right.
Who would be who? Sorry, we'll get back to this, but just as a quick question, like, who would be who with the Shrek characters? Like, I imagine Fiona would be Princess Leia. That's a given.
Well, Shrek would be Luke, surely. But
Donkey would either be C-3PO or R2-D2.
Nah, Donkey's Han Solo.
Han Solo?
Yeah, Donkey would be Han Solo.
Maybe Gingy can be R2-D2. Sorry, C-3PO. He's kind of got that same posture as well.
Pinocchio would be like R2-D2. What else? You'd probably, I don't know, Lord Farquaad is probably Palpatine. No, Lord Farquaad might be Darth Vader.
Maybe Felonious would be Boba Fett. He's in carbonite, my lord.
Yeah. And then, who else is there? Like, I mean,
there's
Three
Puss in
Little
Boots.
Pigs, they could be like some droids or something like that. Or what are they? They could be something like that. Jabba the Hutt, who would be Jabba? Probably Dragon.
I think that'd be Do the Rock Kid.
No, it'd be Dragon because
true,
like,
yeah.
Dragon is watching over Princess Fiona the same way Jabba is like has like hostage Princess Leia.
True. All right.
Anyway,
well then Do the Raw Kid would be
Potter.
the Ewoks, and they would say is Do the Raw. They'd just be like an army. Do the Raw, do the Raw, do the Raw, and that'll be very funny. Anyway, back to the book, everyone, that you came for. Thanks for sticking around listening. The house ghosts began to come in and start talking to the students, which actually is kind of weird. The grown adult ghosts were just allowed to chill out with kids while they ate. But Harry Potter didn't mind. But seriously, imagine if at your school it was like, hey, it's lunchtime and a bunch of adult dead people from the 1530s are just going to float around and chat to you guys and shit. No offense, but that would be a little bit off.
Now, what Pat just said wasn't Pat saying that. That's actually written in the book. So
I just transcribed your words.
The prose of the book actually says, but seriously, imagine if at your school it was like, quotations, hey, it's lunchtime and a bunch of adult dead people from the 1530s are just going to float around and chat to you guys and shit. No offense, but that would be a little bit off.
Fuck, that's funny.
Which is actually true. Like, why are there just a bunch of ghosts living at the school? That's actually really psychotic. You'd think they'd be like, hey guys, I know you're dead, but this is a school. This is an institution. It's not appropriate for you guys to be here. Yeah,
like, that would be worse.
They were living, yeah. It's
like imagine if you were just at school, you were just like sitting down having like a Vegemite sandwich and like fucking, and then fucking old mate Dave from the fucking Box Hill RSL just comes down. Is like, oh hey man, what's going on?
G'day guys, I'm just here for the feast. How are ya?
Oh my god.
Oh god. I just love the colloquial, how quickly the book changes from like writing in a book to a colloquial from the narrator. Seriously, guys, actually imagine this. It'd be weird. And then just a bunch of adult dead people from the 1530s.
Man, like,
oh yeah, go on, Pat, go on.
I was just going to say, if authors, like, if they try to convey a message, they'll usually do it in an abstract manner and, like, have it be, like, the core message and, like, make you think, that's the societal issue. But, like, instead, you've just, like, flat out done. Like, imagine, like, is Inconvenient Truth a book, or is that... Actually, no, forget that. Like, imagine if, like, you went to go see an Inconvenient Truth and it was just Al Gore saying, seriously, guys, climate change, it sucks. And that was the whole movie.
You know what is actually funny with Nearly Headless Nick? It's like, you'd think Dumbledore, when the kids are all eating, and Nearly Headless Nick, this dead guy from like 500 years ago, comes up to all the students and shows them literally his head is hanging by a strand, right? You'd think Dumbledore would be like, mate, look, I've allowed you to stay in this castle. You can't fucking go around showing kids that your head is falling off. You must know that this isn't appropriate. If you do it again, I'm going to ask you to leave the school. Like, why is everyone... And like, with the other house ghosts, there's like the Grey Lady for Ravenclaw and the Bloody Baron for Slytherin. And the story is the Bloody Baron murdered the Grey Lady and then killed himself. So it's like, Dumbledore, like, guys... Bloody Baron, you murdered this other woman and then you killed yourself and now you just haunt this school and we've made you a house ghost. It's like, hey, do you want to be the house ghost of Slytherin? You're a murderer. That kind of fits. Yeah, I'd love to. I'll just hang around. Like, is it awkward for the Bloody Baron and the Grey Lady to both be house ghosts and see each other? It's like, hey, remember when I murdered you? I know, that was how long ago does that feel like now?
Man, could you just imagine if, like, first day of Hogwarts, welcome everybody to Hogwarts. Is it the Forbidden Corridor? Is that where students come from?
The third floor corridor, yeah.
Okay, just some house rules. Don't go to the third corridor. And also, for some reason, we have ghosts. Two of which, one killed the other and then killed themselves. They're here for some reason. We don't know why. They're just here.
We can't get rid of them.
And now let's all pick you and sort you to houses. Like, imagine if that was just it.
All right, let's read on.
All right. One particular ghost, the new ghost of Gryffindor, as Nearly Headless Nick had retired from being a house ghost. Man, how do you retire from being a ghost?
Yeah,
like,
how does that...
I've had my time. It's time to go to ghost heaven. Like,
do you go to Dumbledore and you're like, look, Dumbledore, I've decided to finish up at the end of next year. Oh, Nick, we'll be sorry to lose you, but it's... Yeah, absolutely fine. We'll get someone else, but we'll be so sad to leave you. We must do a party of some sort. Oh, that would be fantastic, Dumbledore. Yes, I've got so many great memories, but it is time. Because when you're a ghost, it's not like you're aging. You don't retire, and find, just live off your savings. I don't think there's even money as a ghost. Anyway.
Oh my god.
Okay. So he's retired.
Yeah, retired from being a house ghost. And now sat at home most of... Sorry. So, okay, I'll read this and then I'll comment on it. Nearly Headless Nick had retired from being a house ghost and now sat at home most of the time masturbating and eating cheezels.
Did you say masturbating?
Yeah, most of the time masturbating and eating cheesels.
It's masturbating. The hell?
Fucking tomato, whatever.
Okay.
What, is it like a specific Australian pronunciation thing that you're pissed about, or just like the general pronunciation?
No, I just have never heard it's called masturbating. That's weird.
Never,
no.
I've
Guys,
heard
comment
both all
in.
the time.
Comment in, masturbate or masturbate. And 2,
Let's do a poll.
we still are waiting. In the first few episodes, we asked the female listeners, have you ever had your boobs signed? Now, we haven't got many responses, but a yes or no would be good. Female listeners of Harry Potter and the Boys, just DM me a thumbs up or a thumbs down this week if you've had your boobs signed before.
Oh my god.
Alright. So he spends all his time masturbating and eating cheesels, which sounds like a great life, to be honest.
It sounds like an album name for like Limp Bizkit or something, like some new metal band. So yeah, who now sat at home wanking and eating cheesels, came up to the boys as they were eating. He looks like a younger old man that kind of resembled Princess Fiona's dad.
Now, okay, what I think has happened here is on a few levels I've misunderstood something, right? Because as we all know, Princess Fiona's dad is played by John Cleese, right?
Yeah.
And the character, the face kind of looks like John Cleese as well. Now, as well as that, John Cleese does play Nearly Headless Nick. So I think I've watched Shrek 2 as a kid and I've gone, oh, that guy kind of looks like Nearly Headless Nick. And that is what I'm going to use as a frame for my character, Nearly Dickless Ned. Right?
Oh my god.
Didn't realize that it was actually pretty much the exact same guy.
I mean, see, and in animated films, they usually model, if they get a big star, they usually model, the character off, if you look at,
Shark Tale?
Yeah, well...
Yeah, yeah. I mean, terrible time to bring up Will Smith.
Oh, yeah, very timely.
The fish in Shark Tale looks a lot like Will Smith, and then even in one where they overdid it was the Polar Express, where Tom Hanks looks exactly like Tom Hanks, and it's really creepy.
Those motion capture movies were something. What an era, you had to be there. But yeah.
Also, not often in a book, like for example, in the actual Harry Potters, you wouldn't usually refer to another universe to describe a character. For example, Neville Longbottom kind of looked a little bit like, Augustus Gloop from Willy Wonka, if you've seen that. Like, J.K. Rowling would have never wrote that, but I'm just like, this guy... Hey, guys, if you're trying to picture this guy, kind of looks like Princess Fiona's dad. It doesn't even say from Shrek. So, it assumes that you just know Princess Fiona's dad. And you're like, oh, yeah, Shrek. Man,
could you imagine,
no context.
Could you imagine if, if J.K. Rowling had this same writing style as a prepubescent boy in the early to mid 2000s? It's Harry does this kickflip similar to Tony Hawk's Underground. That's the vibe.
Yes. All right, so let's continue. Now this guy probably sounds like Nearly Headless Nick. So do an impression.
So I'll just do my best John Cleese.
Yeah.
Hello, all the Gryffindors. Many great times with thou. Many great times with thou also, the ghost said to them.
Which is a sentence that doesn't make any sense.
Hang on.
Yeah, go.
I have to read this. The ghost said to them, fuck upidly.
He said it. The adjective is fuck upidly. So this character says, hello to all the Gryffindors. This is what it says, many great a time to thou also. The ghost said to them, fuck upidly.
Oh my god. I gotta incorporate that into my own vocabulary. That's beautiful. Man, 13-year-old you was on a roll.
Way of speaking.
Yeah, man. You created your own vocabulary. It's great.
Shakespeare invented words as well. So, just following in the footsteps.
True, man. Man, no, I'm not going to go on a rant. We've ranted enough. I'm going to continue reading.
Let's keep going.
Yeah. I know you, said Rob. You're Nearly Dickless Ned. I prefer Nedward Poppington the 17th, quite frankly, said Nearly Dickless Ned. Nearly Dickless, said Michael. How can you be nearly Dickless? Like this.
And this is an exact, replica of the scene in the first Harry Potter with nearly headless Nick. Like, Hermione's like, nearly headless? How can you be nearly headless? And then he goes, like this, and he rips his head off.
Yeah.
Now, what does Nedward Poppington the 17th do? Tell us, Pat.
Nearly dickless Ned took off his ghostly pants, dropped down to his ghostly underpants, and showed his dick to the boys.
Which is so inappropriate. Why are there so many characters in this school who just like have stuff on their asses and their dicks and stuff?
Man, I can only
Potter, this is inappropriate.
I can only imagine like the conversation like he'd have with Dumbledore. Now, Nedward, you're doing a fantastic job. Like we're really happy with you here. As you know, nearly headless Nick had his retirement. You were the perfect replacement. But showing your penis perhaps is not the best choice for our
showing
students.
showing your ghostly penis. Like people like me, I'm an adult. I'd like to see it. I find it fascinating. But the kids, they can't give you that permission. Unfortunately, you won't be able to show them moving forward.
Oh my god!
So he dropped down his ghostly pants and underpants and showed his dick to the boys. So inappropriate.
Jesus Christ.
And then read us the next line.
Just as they had predicted, his penis simply was hanging by a single thread dangling there. Man, I don't want to picture this, but I am picturing this. Like,
yeah, this is a man's worst nightmare.
oh my god. Whoa! How did that happen to your dick? Said Sam.
Which does feel like the appropriate question to ask, doesn't it? But it's probably a little bit insincere.
Like, if that happened to anything else, like, if your finger was hanging by a thread, you naturally ask, why? How did that happen, man? Like, only natural.
Yeah, like, no, and I'm like, are you okay? Like, is everything okay?
Yeah.
Can we
Do
help?
you need medical attention? Do you need to go to the fucking ghost hospital or something?
All right. So he's asked, how did it happen?
And then how did nearly dickless Nick respond? None of your business. I was at Hogwarts myself, you see? Had a wee bit of an accident, you see? Got into a fight with one of the other lads at the school, you see? All came to a crunch, you see? Tried to chop my dick off, you see?
Okay, so first of all, why does nearly dickless Ned have some weird tick where he says "you see" at the end of every?
It's his Anya happy.
Of every sentence. He just has to go, you see? He says he got into a fight with another lad at school and it all came to a crunch, and then it's like, tried to chop my dick off.
Jesus Christ.
Okay. And also, he starts the sentence with none of your business and then proceeds to explain everything.
Yeah. Hey, man, that's really not okay to ask, but this is exactly how it happened.
Yeah. That actually reminds me of this story. Like, I went to an all-boys school, and when I was in grade 5, there was like this really mean teacher, and we were all like outside, and there was like this girl there, like a girl our age. And obviously, because we were at an all-boys school, it was like weird that there was just a girl there.
Yeah.
And I said to the teacher, "Who's that girl?" And she just like looked at me and she's like, "None of your business, my daughter." And I was like, wait a second, that doesn't, you said none of your business and then answered the question anyway.
Yeah.
So that actually might be what inspired that line.
Maybe.
None of your business.
Man, it's like we said, hey, miss, what's the answer to question 5? None of your business. See?
Yeah. Like, and that stuck with me. Sometimes in my life, I just randomly go, none of your business, my daughter. And it's just like, no one gets it.
Maybe we need to put that in the next one.
Yeah.
Oh my god! When you do your equivalent of the cursed child for Harry Potter and the Boys.
Yeah. Go on.
And yes, we see, said Tom, which is a great response. Very good. That's like a Simpsons level joke. I genuinely really like that. Oh my god! And then nearly dickless Ned goes on. Didn't quite get the knife all the way, you see. Oh no, sorry. Oh, Ned said. Sorry, my mistake.
This is Ned.
Yeah. Oh yeah, correct. I'm. Oh my god.
So he says, didn't quite get the knife all the way through, you see, and then go on.
I can't say the next line, it's too funny. I've got to try and do this in
Just do it. Just do it, Pat. Just do it. I believe in you.
I'm known for a stiff and rocky dick, you see. Oh my god, man. Thank you for saving this chapter for me. Like, seriously, thank you.
This is an absurd thing to say. Yeah, you know, I'm known for a stiff and rocky dick. You know, everyone knows me as the stiff and rocky dick guy.
That's like the worst kind of like sexual harassment.
Okay, continue.
It's one thing to acknowledge sex, but to be like, oh, I got a rocky dick. Like, what does that mean? Anyway.
Yeah.
I see, said Michael. Just hanging by a single strand, you see? Thought I'd be okay, you see? Rushed to Madame Pomfrey, you see? Died on the way of blood loss from the dick, though, you see?
Now, to be fair, he said he's known for his stiff and rocky dick, and when you have an erection, that is actually caused by blood rush to the dick. So it does make sense that like so much blood was in his like infamous stiff and rocky dick that he died of the blood loss when someone tried to chop it off.
Oh my god, man. What does a rocky dick mean? Was it meant to be indestructible? Like maybe that's why Madame Pomfrey couldn't save his dick, because it was just too rock solid.
Let's read on.
All right. Yes, I see, said Rob. Madame Pomfrey wouldn't do anything, you see? Said it wasn't appropriate for her to do magic around my dick, you see?
Which is a fair thing. Like, I feel like in places where they have a school nurse, you wouldn't do any genital-based stuff. You'd go to a GP for that.
Yeah, you'd call 000 or something. I see, said Tom. But who tried to chop your dick off, said Lockie. I'm sure reading the next line here. My dad once had his... Oh,
no,
wait.
I think this must be any sentence that starts with my dad is Dimmy.
Is Dimmy. All right. My dad once had his dick chopped off, but he was able to buy another one from the shops near our place. They just put it back on. My dad's really brave like that. Also, Mr. Nearly Dickless Ned, I know this must be weird, but I've just met you, but I just wanted to say I can definitely see girls having a crush on you. Crush on you and having the hots for you. You got so much going for you, said Dimmy.
Why does he feel the need to say this?
Like, he's dead. Like, what? Does he need to, like, attract, like, the girl ghosts
and
or
his
something?
penis is hanging on by a thread. I'm sorry, guys, but if that's you, girls aren't going to have the hots for you.
Man. Everyone looked kind of awkward at this random interjection from Dimmy. One of the boys even considered slapping Dimmy, but at the last minute decided that wouldn't be appropriate. But then he did it anyway.
And that is the moral of this book is essentially people thinking something wouldn't be appropriate, but then doing it anyway.
Yeah, look at Will Smith. That's a timely comment.
That's true. That's true. Okay, but this is interesting. We might be getting into some deeper territory here.
A student went on to commit a bunch of mass murders after Hogwarts, you see, said Nat. Kim, is that Yuri or Jiri?
Jiri, I think.
Kim Jiri, they used to call him the clown, you see. Clownish Kim Jiri is what they called him, you see. Clownfish Kim Jiri, said Michael.
No, clownish.
I've heard of him.
Clownish Kim Jiri.
Right.
Interesting.
I've heard of him, said Rob. He was a Hufflepuff at Hogwarts a while ago. Apparently he went on a murderous rampage after he left the school. But he had a history of doing fucked up stuff like trying to chop people's dicks off.
Okay.
Man, like that's like the last thing he mentions.
Now there was actually, in the very first chapter of book 2, Mr. Charger and Voldemort were talking, and Voldemort said to Mr. Charger, I know you have plans with that Hufflepuff this year. Maybe that's clownish Kim Jiri, who seems to be an evil guy who tries to chop people's dicks off, and he's going to get I don't know. Anyway, let's continue.
Oh, man. Yes, that's him, you see. Never ended up in Azkaban or even Kazkaban.
What is Kazkaban? What is Kazkaban?
Like, we try to write like Kazakhstan or something?
Is Kazkaban just a different prison that has a similar name to Azkaban?
It's like, maybe it's like the American one, like in the Fantastic Beasts series. Like, it's
Kazkaban.
Like, you got Muggles, Nomad, Azkaban, Kazkaban. You know what I mean? Or maybe theirs is called Kazkatraz.
Kazkatraz. Okay, so he never ended up in Azkaban or Kazkaban.
Kazkaban. They tried to get him into Deathbird and Reaper's juvenile detention center in the 5th year, but didn't work, you see. There wasn't enough evidence. They couldn't prove it was him who chopped off my dick, you see.
So we now, new bit of Harry Potter lore, there is a juvenile detention center called Deathbird and Reapers, which is a horrific name for a prison.
Yeah, it's pretty
Hey guys,
bad.
this is Deathbird and Reapers Juvenile Detention Center. I'm Deathbird, he's Reaper. We'll be looking after you.
Oh my god.
Coming to the end of the chapter, let's power through it.
Yes, we see, said Luke. So what happened to him? Asked Michael curiously. Where is he now? Rumor has it, he went into hiding, you see. Don't blame him. Chop over 50 students' dicks off. You're not going to be one of the most popular guy in school, you see. Neb replied.
It is true.
Which is true. Like, if you're known for chopping off, like, people's penises, I don't imagine, like, you'd be invited to...
Go away,
to many of
Go
the
away,
events.
Kim Jerry. We don't want you to play down ball. You always chop our dicks off when you lose.
No, I promise I'm not going to chop your dick off this time. Why are you holding a knife?
You said that last time.
That's my sporting knife.
You said that last time, mate. Why don't I have a dick?
Oh my god. No one's even seen him for a while, you see. But he got into some pretty dark magic. Crazy stuff. Who knows what he's doing now, you see? And then the next line. Can you get a stiffy? Asked Derek. Excuse me? Said Nick.
So, in this moment of time in which a dead man with essentially no penis is explaining how his penis was chopped off by one of the darkest wizards, apparently, of the current timeline of Harry Potter, Derek finds it appropriate to just be like, he's probably sitting there this whole time listening to the story about this dick cutter offerer, and this is in his mind, and at this point he's just like, I can't control this impulse. I have to ask this question. Can you get a stiffy? And he just asks it.
And also he's so appalled by it too. Like after he'd just gone into like massive extreme detail about his penis.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, excuse me, I just talked about my penis and now you ask about my penis?
Yeah.
Man. Can you get a stiffy? Because your dick is nearly chopped off. Just wondered if you can get a stiffy, Derek said. I'll not answer offensive questions on the level of disgusting like that, my fine boy. Have a good feast, and yes, I can get a stiffy, said Matt.
So, again, he's done the none of your business, my daughter, which is, I'll not answer offensive questions like that. Good day to you, sir. And yes, I can get a stiffy for your information. It's just like a complete contradiction.
That's like, man, that's actually gold. Like, so you were you 13? Like, did you write all these books in 1 year, or was it over?
I think it was over
years?
like year 7 to year 9-ish. But I was probably 13.
Year 9.
during
Okay,
this
so
one,
you
but that's quite funny.
13 to 14.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty advanced, like a 13 to 14-year-old. Like, honestly, man, like, good stuff. That's actually really good. Like, that's... Like, if... Honestly, dude, if you ever, like, get a chance to, like, make your own TV show, or to, like, write a pilot, or, like, have an audio drama, like, whatever the fuck you can do, I think there's tons to take inspiration from here. Like, seriously. There's a lot of good stuff here, man.
Thanks, man.
Nah, genuinely, like... Even, like, just maybe the stuff you think won't work, taking aspects of that and, like, you know, turning into, like, a different, like, potion or something. Well,
Yeah.
Sorry, I was trying to do a fucking wizard thing, but yeah, anyway. The boys were interrupted by another song from the Jim Wilkins Choir. Ring, ring, ring with the trolley. Clang, clang, clang with the bell. Who's excited for some classes and to learn another magic spell?
So they're just literally working with one rhyme. Like, to do different...
It's like the fucking Oompa Loompa thing.
Yeah, Oompa Loompa, but theirs is ring, ring, ring with the trolley.
Yeah. It's like, imagine it's like, doo-ba-dee-doo, it's time for class. Let's not think of the rhyme. Like, that's basically it.
All right, we're really close to the end of the chapter. Let's go.
We're so close. Derek and Dimmy return to the expelled table. Okay, said Dimmy. I know this might be awkward, and I'm not saying I don't know, but can you just remind me what a stiffy is? I've definitely heard of it, but I think I forgot. It's like It's like in high school, like, oh yeah, I know what it is. I just want to make sure you know.
No, it's like the I've got a girlfriend. She goes to a different school. You wouldn't know her. She goes to she what's her name? Oh, I don't know, Amanda or some shit.
Oh my god.
Yeah, she's at a different school. This is Dimmy doing that. I've definitely heard of a stiffy, but I just can't remember right now. Can you just tell me what you think it is, and then I'll just confirm?
This is like easily like season 1 to 10, Cartman. This is great.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure my dad told me at one point. I think he has
heaps. Like a huge collection of them or something.
Now, can I just say,
Oh my god.
when I picture Dimmy, I actually picture Eric Cartman, the character in the world of Harry Potter, with the South Park art style, just in a live action world.
Oh my god. Like it's Roger Rabbit or something.
Yeah. All right.
Man.
Last little bit here. And this has been a chaotic chapter. This is chaos.
This has been an incredible chapter.
We found out about clownish Kim Jiri, the dick chopping off, who may become a villain in this story. We don't know. We meet nearly dickless Ned, the nearly dickless house ghost of Gryffindor, and we find out that nearly headless Nick has retired and now masturbates and eats cheesels. What could happen next?
That's the life. Also, clownish Kim Jiri would make a great band name. So if there's anyone out there starting thinking of a band, call it Clownish Kim Jiri. I think that would be pretty cool. It's on the same vibe as like King Gizzard or something. Anyway, as the feast was finishing, Harry Potter stood up at the podium one more time. Also, Hagrid is your defense against the dark arts / farts teacher this year.
Oh no. This
Please
can't
tell me we get a
end well.
cameo.
This can't end well.
Oh man.
Yeah, teacher this year. He doesn't know anything about it, but I was busy over summer. I was busy over summer in Jamaica chilling, so I couldn't get anyone better this year. So just accept it. And just one final reminder before.
Oh god, gotta have this.
Before we head to our dormitories, Derek is a disgrace to all wizards.
I think that's the first appearance of that in the book so far.
Wow. That's great.
Good to see it's back.
Oh, man. Wow. Okay. No lie, but this is still great. Hagrid stood up, and the entire Great Hall shook violently like an earthquake. Several students started crying, and one called his mum to ask if he could pick him up. But she said no because she had work and was busy. And just see how things go this year.
So Hagrid stands up, the Great Hall shakes, one boy's like, Mum, can you pick me up? This is just, I don't want to do it. No, darling, I've got work. Just see how it goes this year. Just see how you go.
Yeah.
Mum, students are being murdered. It's awful. Oh, I've got work,
There's a
darling.
ghost without a dick, like...
Okay, that's the end of the chapter. Thanks for that.
Oh my
amazing
god,
read.
that was gold.
What do you reckon, Pat? Where are you seeing it going? Make a wild prediction.
I don't know. I mean, like, look, with the return of Mr. Charger and Voldemort and whatnot, like, I'm looking to see maybe Voldemort will get ejected from his bum. Maybe Voldemort will turn into a bum. He's like, oh no, you turned me into a bum because I was on your bum or something. I don't know. But like, look, only you know. So, but yeah, no, look, I definitely see a good future with Hagrid now that he's back. And
We'll definitely.
I'm pretty happy, Sam.
We'll try and get you on a Hagrid heavy chapter in the future.
Yeah.
Pat,
No, 100%.
thank you so much for jumping on. Guys, if you like Pat and you like me, Pat and Mike, the Patreon exclusive podcast, $1 a month over on Patreon, patreon.com/Radio Mike, really helps us. And yeah, we'd love to see you on the Patreon. We don't promote the Patreon too much on Harry Potter and the Boys, so we'd love to see you guys there. So thank you so much. Pat, anything you want to add? Sounds like
Apparently
no.
penises can be hung by a thread.
All right, guys. Goodbye, Homoras. Speak to you soon.
Na, 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 na.
This episode of Harry Potter and the Boys was brought to you by Radio Mike on Patreon and the 20th Century Boy podcast. For as little as $1 a month, get a bonus podcast every week at patreon.com/Radio Mike. And search 20th Century Boy on your favourite podcast app to hear more from me every single week. See you there. This podcast was a Radio Mike original production. Head to radiomike.com.au to check out all our other content, stay up to date at radio.mike on Instagram, and get in touch, radiomikepod@gmail.com.